As America continues cleaning up from the megastorm Helene, it is not a surprise that politics have taken center stage. Over the last week, a controversy has arisen as to whether FEMA has blown much of its money meant to help Americans in emergency situations like Helene on taking care of illegals. DHS, Department of Homeland Security Chief Alejandro Mayorkas, was quoted as saying that FEMA has no money left to help Americans in need. He specifically said that after Hurricane Helene relief, that FEMA will be out of money. It seems odd that DHS had billions to spend to fly illegals in and around the country while feeding, housing, and clothing them. And at the same time, Blinking Fool is proudly announcing that the USA has sent hundreds of millions to Lebanon and Syria to help out in conflicts that are a direct result of failed governments in those countries. How is it the responsibility of the USA? Saudis and the UAE have plenty of their oil money they can spend on this situation, and that is much closer to their countries than it is to the United States. Both sides are making arguments, but it does appear that billions upon billions are being wasted by our federal government, and it is not being spent on citizens trying to recover from Helene. Then to add insult to injury is the Cat 5 Hurricane Milton with a direct hit near Tampa, Florida. The only good news is that Ron DeSantis, the GOP Florida governor, is on top of things, and the state appears to have done all it can to prepare and respond. Just before the storm hit, Harris triggered a firestorm by claiming that DeSantis had refused to call with her. The comedy here is that she is not president. She is not authorized to send help to Florida or any other state. In turn, DeSantis refuted her statement and said if she had called, if he was unavailable, he would have called her back. He apparently considered her claim nothing more than a campaign stunt. And Harris, apparently stung by criticism, even from the slopstream media, suddenly decided to show up at what she saw as friendly media sites, including, of all things, a sex talk podcast. Folks, this is not one of those. And we would certainly be happy to have Miss Harris check in with us. Folks, most Americans with IQs higher than the temperature at the South Pole know that The View is a joke. Of course, that's why appearing there and with one of the late night losers really won't move the needle. Even worse, when she did a long interview with Oprah and then a session on 60 Minutes, she failed. Of course, she declined an interview with Fox. On 60 Minutes, she admitted that she would change nothing about what the Biden-Harris administration has already done. She did not defend the ridiculous and massive failure at the border that she and Biden caused. When confronted, she tried to make it sound like somehow the Republicans were responsible. The situation is 4 times worse than when Trump was in office. How could this be a GOP problem? All told, unless you're a hardcore Dem voter, nothing that Harris has said will be changing your mind. Not a single solution has been articulated by Harris. Blaming Trump, who's been gone nearly 4 years, and the Congress when the Dems hold the presidency and the Senate and are only behind in the House by a few votes is a dead-on arrival strategy, in my humble opinion.